I'm Anne Riddell, and welcome to Arts in the City. One of the things we love about New York, art is everywhere, from our parks to our streets to our waterways. Summer is a great time to check it out, and we have got lots of ideas for you. We begin today with a well-known graffiti artist. Kelly Covington is a native New Yorker who's been painting since 1981. Donna Hanover has that story.
It was a common sight to New York commuters for years, trains dressed in a splash of homegrown art commonly known as graffiti. We've come a long way since those times, and so has Kelly Covington, a one-time subway tagger who's now an accomplished full-time artist.
I'm a big, huge fan of nostalgia New York, if you will. Nostalgia, graffiti artwork, the subway art.
Known on the street as Lose One, Covington is a lifelong student of this uniquely urban craft, a self-taught master of the genre.
Older people about it, they say, oh, I remember that, I remember it being an eyesore, but now I look at it, it's pretty intricate art that you have going on, This generation, they embrace it. Everybody wants it in their video, everybody wants it in their commercial, and it's even more so if it's like authentic.
Kelly's cramped studio space is stuffed with his art, tools to create it, and a world of inspiration.
For me, it's therapeutic. It keeps me out of trouble. When I'm stressed out, I just come in here and lock myself in the room and draw, no phones and no anything like that. Sometimes my fiance calls me up and she's like, when are you coming home?
His artistic solitude is here in the Andrew Friedman home, a former mansion repurposed into an arts and culture collective by the Mid-Bronx Senior Citizens Council, and now home base to more than 20 artists.
I even have acrylics everywhere. I have my designer markers, anything that can help me get my mission accomplished. That's what we're going to use.
Kelly Covington considers himself a certified graffiti artist and now replicates the aerosol art of his youth in a non-moving public format.
There's shows everywhere now, and I love showing the art. I love displaying, working with my partner Joey, and we just love to display the art. That's why we're just cranking it out now. But I want to do something that makes people happy. On a large scale, on a large level, My thing is to bring knowledge and to bring joy to people, via classic graffiti art.
And Kelly Covington seems to be doing just that. I'm Donna Hanover for Arts in the City.
The play Feathers of Fire has been described as a feast for the senses, and our Susan Jun got a front row seat.
Cinematic shadow play, audiobooks, and a pop-up book. It's all part of a larger project to highlight Iranian culture. It's a magical journey through shadows and time, telling the story of star-crossed lovers from 10th century Persia, all the while creating a window into Iranian culture.
When I came here, I realized that everybody's basically attacking my culture. So I felt that I need to produce something to counterattack this. I wanted to create something that talks and introduce the highlight of my culture into the Western society, because everything you hear in this today's about us is just negative.
Guggenheim Fellow, filmmaker, and visual artist Hamid Rahmanian came to the U.S. from Iran in 1994 to earn his master's. Initially hoping to open a graphic design firm, Rahmanian ended up finding a greater purpose for his art by bringing Iranian literature and visual traditions to the stage in the production of Feathers of Fire, based on the Persian epic Shahnameh.
Shahnameh, or the Book of Kings, the longest poem written by a single poet, is written 1010. The Ferdowsi, he collected and put together millennium-old epic tradition of Iranian plateau into 50,000 heroic verses. The reason that we Iranian today speaking Persian because of this book. So it's like a national identity of the Iranian cultures.
The drama unfolds on screen in front of the audience as it plays out live behind the screen, with a combination of performers in 3D costumes and masks, puppets, scenography, and digital animation, all of which come to life as a live animation shadow play, which molds modern animation with ancient shadow theater.
They're watching animation, but in the backstage, we are actually building that animation for them. We have 160 puppets, we have 15 masks, 8 actors, 137 animated backgrounds. We have 1,163 cues performed in 70 minutes.
The breathtaking visuals appear as actors perform backstage behind a 36 by 15-foot screen, while 2 large light projectors cast their shadows onto the screen. Adding to the action, small puppets and miniature sets with color gels are illuminated into colorful, larger-than-life images. Created in his Brooklyn studio, Feathers of Fire is just one part of a larger multimedia project that has occupied the last decade of the New York City artist's life.
I started in 2008 when I sat down and over a course of 4 years create an illustrated edition of Shahnameh with the new translation by Dr. Sadri,
which resulted in a 600-page illustrated adaptation introducing a visual culture of the Middle East to the Western audience.
I collect and put together over 8,000 pieces of miniature and lithograph from late 14th century to mid 19th century, anything influenced by Persian painting from Mughal India to all the territory of Ottoman Empire, which is the Mediterranean Sea.
In addition to the dramatic audiobook of Shahnameh, Rahmanian decided to create a visually stunning pop-up book from one story in the collection called Zahak, Legend of the Serpent King, which tells the story of a prince who is corrupted by the devil and ultimately defeated. Based on that story, a small puppet show was created.
I got a lot of interest and approach from the Brooklyn Academy of Music, from Metropolitan Museum, to create something bigger.
From which Feathers of Fire was born. To date, the play has run 112 performances for close to 100,000 viewers from all over the world and in 30 states across the country, introducing people from all walks of life to Iranian culture.
When the kids or young adult, they see this show and they learn about the culture, when they go back and they hear something negative, they have something positive in their mind so they can compare with. It's not just constantly negative.
Rahmanian is currently working on the concept and funding for another shadow theater production through which he can once again share the beauty of his culture. For more on this series of works and future ones, go to kingorama.com. I'm Susan Junn for Arts in the City.
In Talking Pictures today, our Neil Rosen sits down with Oscar-nominated actor Ralph Fiennes to talk about his new film, The White Crow. The movie, which he directed and co-stars in, is based on a remarkable true story.
Did you dance tonight?
If I had danced, you would remember.
The White Crow is the name of a new film about legendary Russian ballet dancer Rudolf Nureyev and his defection to the West in 1961.
My name is Rudolf Nureyev. I want political asylum.
No! The film was directed by acclaimed actor Ralph Fiennes, who also co-stars in the movie as Nureyev's masterful dance teacher, Alexander Pushkin. This is your third directorial effort. Out of all the stories you could have done, why did you choose to do this one?
I came across the story of the young Rudolf Nureyev when I read the first chapters of a new biography about 20 years ago. And I think I've been moved by this story of a young Russian boy's determination to realize themselves as a dancer coming from a very poor background in central Russia with a sort of really strong, almost messianic desire to become an artist, a performing artist, a dancer. And that's really affected me, particularly also because it's in the context of the Cold War. So the freedom of the individual, freedom of expression are also themes in this. And it culminates, when I first read the description of his defection at Le Bourget Airport, I just thought this is a film.
Do you like directing, or do you prefer to just be a gun for hire as an actor where all you have to concentrate on is the particular role that you're playing?
I'm fully challenged when I'm directing. Every part of my brain is fully challenged with the choices of camera and discussing with the cinematographer, the designers, the choices that are going to be the world of the film, and I love that. As an actor, I can find myself getting often quite impatient on film sets because there's a lot of waiting, and then you have to, and someone else is in control of it all. And having once been behind the camera and sitting with an editor and making these choices, that's exciting.
Can you relate to Nureyev at all, and can you relate to the character you played, his teacher, Pushkin?
I suppose a bit of me can relate to bits of both of them. I can understand the kind of perfectionism of Nureyev, wanting it all to be right, and the sort of pursuit of some kind of excellence, which is sort of impossible because nothing can be perfect. But I can understand that burning desire to get it right. But I can also understand that, and Pushkin is someone I think is a gentle soul who, and I think Pushkin's technique was to allow the dancer to make the mistakes, a quieter approach.
That's you?
I can understand that. That's a bit of me, not all of me.
What's your all-time favorite role, and what's the toughest role you ever played?
I love playing Harry in a film called The Bigger Splash, which is a film I did with Tilda Swinton and Dakota Johnson, where I get to dance to the Rolling Stones. And
That's your favorite?
One of my favourites, yes.
What's your toughest?
Actually, in a way, it sounds odd, but playing Voldemort was quite tough because you're meant to embody sort of evil and you don't have much subtext, and you're kind of a thing, a creature. And actually, that's quite odd.
What's next for you, Rafe?
Next, I'm going to be reprising M in the Bond films, and then later this year I'm doing a film with Alexander Payne, I believe, and Emma Stone.
So, 007. Lots to be done.
With Ray Fiennes, for Arts in the City, I'm Neil Rosen.
Up next, we meet Publiquartet, musicians who are bringing classical music into uncharted territory. Craig Thompson listened in.
Publiquartet is a string quartet, and we sort of are unique in that we don't play any traditional repertoire. And if we do, we're improvising through it.
Creating music or bringing new music to audiences in a refreshing way is part of our mission.
The quartet plays Nina Simone, Bach, Debussy, and 11th century medieval composer Hildegard von Bingen, along with their own original work.
Our programs, you'll find a number of things. You'll find works by living composers. You'll find underrepresented works from the repertoire. And then you'll find our own Mind the Gap compositions.
What we're trying to do is kind of make an argument that classical music can have just as much appeal as does pop music. We kind of take the essential elements, the elements that we think people are responding to in pop music, and we just reveal them in the classical music. And sometimes that means that we're combining genres, but we try really hard to keep the integrity of the original work.
One of the group's best received pieces is a mashup of Charlie Parker and Claude Debussy called Bird in Paris.
It's a fun journey for the audience and an entry point for an audience of two different kinds of genres to hear something and go, oh, I've never listened to it that way. Those two composers were composing around the same time, and especially a lot of the French composers, Debussy and Ravel, took a lot of influence from ragtime. And so it's cool to really show the integration of actually how musically close those two genres are.
And there's more of this kind of genre hopping on the new album the group recently released, called Freedom and Faith.
One of the pieces that I really like on that album is very short. It's a reworking of Ella Fitzgerald's A Tisket a Tasket.
A green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it.
And in this we use all kinds of sounds. We speak, we sing, we drum on our instruments, there's a whistle, we stomp. It's kind of a crazy whirlwind of sounds, and I've never really heard a string quartet do that before, so it's fun to be part of a group that makes sounds that, at least to me, seem really fresh.
But the quartet's forte is live performance and improvisation, whether as part of a residency at places like the Met Museum or National Sawdust in Brooklyn.
The Met Museum, we had, as she said, we had concerts in different places. Each one had a different audience, and really every audience reacts differently. We can't predict it, and that's taught us a little bit that, you know, we try and make music that we feel strongly about, basically for us. We always get, you know, really great feedback on the way we do that. People say, oh, you guys are so charismatic on stage and we love watching you play. And a lot of that is just feeling free to make sounds that we've never heard before. We're inspiring ourselves. We're like kind of egging each other on a little bit.
Look for Publiquartet's new album. It's out now. For Arts in the City, I'm Craig Thompson.
You probably remember Chris Kattan for his boisterous characters on Saturday Night Live, Mango and Mr. Peepers, to name just a couple. Well, now, in addition to being a comedian, he is an author. We talked to him about his candid new book, Baby Don't Hurt Me, which details everything from his childhood to his career. Chris, thank you so much for coming by. I'm so happy to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Your book is called Baby Don't Hurt Me, Stories and Scars from Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
What made you decide to write it now?
You know, I just wanted to answer a lot of the questions that people had, which were like, what happened to you? Where have you been all this time, you know? And that's what sparked me to write the book.
You talk in the book a lot about your childhood, about your entire professional career, and it is funny, but you're also very heartfelt and it's very direct, I thought. Do you think that's going to surprise readers?
I think so, probably. I mean, I, as a reader, when I read autobiographies, I mean, I love that, and I'm not usually surprised because that's what makes a human being. I mean, you're not always funny, you know?
Right.
Hopefully people won't be disappointed that it's not super funny, but it's not. It's not a laugh out loud book. It's not jokes. It's not anecdotes. It's real stories, you know, that really happened.
Yeah.
And there is humor in those stories, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your childhood. It was in some ways pretty non-traditional. After your parents divorced, you lived with your mom and your stepfather sort of on a mountain in a Zen community, is that right?
Yes, on Mount Baldy. This is in Southern California in the San Bernardino Mountains. And my stepdad was a Zen monk. For me as a child, I don't know if you know, for anybody who knows about Zen, it's you know, it's a way of life, and it's not, most children don't really get into it. Yeah. Because you're not stressed out yet. You usually need to
You don't really need that yet.
Not yet, you know, quite
Eventually.
yet. So.
And meanwhile, your dad was in LA, and he's a comedian, was a comedian himself, is that right?
Yeah, he was one of the founders of the Groundlings, the improv group in Los Angeles. What was so great was that I got to see him perform, you know, on the stage, you know, with other people like Paul Rubens, who created Pee Wee Herman, and Phil Hartman, and it was just amazing to see that.
So we have to talk about Saturday Night Live.
Sure.
You know, Mr. Peepers, the Butabi brothers, so many hilarious characters you played. Do you have a favorite?
They're all fun. I mean, they all gave me a chance to work with some great guest hosts and other cast members. There was something interesting about Mr. Peepers, which was, Mr. Peepers was this half monkey, half man character. He ate an apple and then he dry humped somebody, basically. That was the character.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
I mean, really, the physical comedy of Mr. Peepers kind of defies logic.
It is, yeah.
How you do it is really not understandable.
Right, it isn't, because it's weird.
Yeah, I especially love the apple anecdote. Can you explain that?
Well, there's this old cartoon called Mickey's Trailer. It's a Mickey Mouse cartoon. And in the trailer, at one point, Goofy is eating a corn on the cob.
Yeah.
And he eats it like a typewriter.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, you know, what if I ate an apple like that? And of course, it's impossible for me to eat it like that, like an animation. But if your mindset says eat it like that, you're going to get as close as you can to it. And that's what I was doing.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now? I know you're doing some stand-up, and that has to be very different than what you did before.
It is different, you know. It's being alone on stage is different. I'm used to working with other people on, you know, in a sketch or in a film. Being alone on stage for like 45 minutes doing a set, it's a whole different ballgame.
Do you enjoy it?
I do enjoy it, yeah. It gets me back in touch with the fans and the people, because that's what got me out of all the, you know, dark spots in my life was comedy, you know.
We always love to ask writers about their actual writing process.
Well, I made the mistake of writing on an iPad the whole time. Well, because it took longer. I was like,
yeah, okay.
I don't know why I didn't have a good computer at the time.
Okay, this
with a
seems like the
proper
kind of thing you
keyboard.
could have rectified, though.
Yeah, I could have rectified it, but I didn't for a while. So, but I should have written on something else other than an iPad.
Yeah.
It would have been out a lot sooner.
And how long did it take you to write the book? Have you been working on it for a long time?
For about 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, about 5 years.
But was it ultimately cathartic also?
Oh my God, it is. It's incredibly cathartic. It's probably one of the best therapy sessions you could possibly have. That lasts for 5 years.
Yes, it's a long therapy
Yeah,
session.
it is. Very long.
Chris, thank you so much for coming by. I really enjoyed your book, and I really enjoyed meeting you.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you very much for having me.
Art is many things to many people. Joyful, thought-provoking, even healing. Ari Goldberg shows us how one New York City hospital is trying to lift spirits with large-scale sculpture.
Imagine you're a patient facing a difficult treatment. You step inside a hospital, and the first thing you see is a massive red sculpture.
The people who come in here, for the most part, are coming for treatment, mostly for cancer treatment. It's a difficult moment to come in here and have something lift you up, put you in somewhat of a better mood. If 1 out of 100 people is affected, it's so worth doing this.
Artist Joel Shapiro's large-scale sculpture was recently installed in the lobby of Mount Sinai's Hess Center for Science and Medicine.
It's a question of blue or red, and I thought the red was more buoyant and singled itself out more in the space, to command the space, not to violate it.
I think the space becomes a much more exciting space. You sense the volumes, it's friendlier, it breaks it up into pieces.
Shapiro workshopped several different models before landing on what you see here.
It was a challenge to figure out what would work, you know, in a hospital, in a serious, you know, environment. Even having art here, just even if you don't like it, it's distracting. So that has to be a benefit. Public space demands a different sense of scale, and I think you have to be willing to do that. If you don't do that, you end up something that becomes very diminutive and really becomes ancillary to the space itself.
I am of the opinion that art heals, and that is calming and reassuring at its very best. And I wanted to do something for the hospital that we start bringing us up to a visual level that's a bit more commensurate with our medical success. I feel it's my hospital. I think all of the trustees feel it's their hospital, and we have an obligation to make it the best hospital possible.
2 years in the making, and now a permanent fixture here at the Hess Center for Science and Medicine. I'm Ari Goldberg for Arts in the City.
Cruising the water on a summer evening sounds pretty sweet, and now you can see art at the same time. All aboard the Art Boat with Mike Gilliam.
It's called the Art Boat, and it's a new way to cruise and enjoy the views of Manhattan from the water and see cutting-edge urban street art on board. The people running the Art Boat want you to know that this is not just graffiti.
Graffiti is done hastily, whereas this is truly thought out, really artful, really beautiful. A lot of these pieces really speak to different audiences.
The theme extends beyond the pieces on display inside the Art Boat. The vessel looks like no other yacht on the water. It's wrapped in art.
A little bit over a month to paint for the fact that it was done in the elements outside, especially with the different varying canvases. You know, there's canvas, there's steel.
It was a bold move. Everybody, all our competitors in the harbor go like, you guys are crazy to just get a white boat and just convert it into a moving art venue.
Inside, you'll find all kinds of paintings from a diverse group of artists.
There are some really strong, powerful messages in there that speak to the artists' backgrounds as well as to what New York City is all about. And we're quite proud to have a lot of these artists on board.
This is by Sarah Arenthal, right?
Yes, Sarah takes on the challenges of women these days with feminism, activism. She played on the theme of us being on the boat by putting things may feel rocky, but you got this. One of my favorite pieces in here is a photorealistic piece done upstairs, and it shows two hands holding a disco ball. And what it represents is the rising of the sun and the moon at night. It looks almost like a real photo, but it's done by spray paint. I can't not imagine being able to even write a straight line with a spray paint can.
I see one that's very New York. It has Seinfeld's head on it.
That is a good one right there. Jerry Seinfeld over there with a pigeon on his shoulder. You can't get better than that. Iconic New Yorkers like Jerry, as well as some other pieces in here. We do have a couple of bits on the Statue of Liberty. And then some of the more, if you're into the street art community, you'll see some things in here that you're like, I've seen that guy before.
Right now, they're cruising every Saturday night out of the Skyport Marina at 23rd Street in the FDR Drive. And organizers say reaction has been great.
This is really like a new hip thing to do, is to come on the boat, have fun, boost your way around while enjoying the art.
And it's very New York.
It is New York, that's it. That's one thing that we struck, right?
If you're interested in taking one of the public cruises and coming aboard and checking out all the artwork, you can visit one of their social media pages on Facebook or Instagram or their website. I'm Mike Gilliam for Arts in the City.
And that is our show for today. Thanks so much for joining us. You can find more information on all the stories we featured on our website. And remember, we are online whenever you need your New York City arts and culture fix. I'm Anne Riddell. See you next time on Arts in the City.